What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and I try to get a lot of different firearms for review and comparison purposes. Like, it makes it really easy when something like the FN Reflex comes out, and I can go shoot it back to back with the Shield Plus, or the SIG P365, or the CSX, or the GX4, just so I can come back here and tell you guys how it compares, how it shoots compared to it, how it feels in the hand, and so on. It makes it very easy. That is the main reason. But there are a lot of firearms at this point that I just get no use out of. I don't really see the purpose for anymore, or in some cases, having malfunctions. Other cases, it's a great firearm. I just don't use it. It is what it is. But you know me, I'm big into not selling your firearms, stashing them, keeping as many as possible. It is what it is. I do understand why people do sell them, but that is just something I don't tend to do. And we're going to get in the video. But first off, hit the like button or dislike button. It both helps. On top of that, put something in the comments for the algorithms. Tell me what you carry today, what holster, what ammo. Tell me what I did good in this video. Tell me what I didn't do so good. I appreciate it all, guys. Now, first off, we are going to be talking about the Beretta Pico. I actually really like this thing. I like the stainless steel for pocket carry. And this is just something simple, light, throw in the pocket. Hey, we're going to the park. Hey, we're going on a walk. Something where you're going to be in a safe environment, but still want something on you to defend yourself. You just never know nowadays. And the Beretta Pico. Until I started having issues with it, and it's been non-stop issues. Someone even mentioned that the Beretta Pico, which I assumed it was the guide rod, because there's a lot of drag, a lot of hold up when you're shooting. When you have a successful round that cycles, you can almost see that the slide is not moving at the speed it should. So I assumed it was a guide rod spring assembly issue, and I believe it is. Someone mentioned the look online. I haven't done it yet, but they said that Beretta Picos actually had issues with the guide rods and springs. So I assume that is what's happening with mine, and it just took a little bit of use in order to get to that point, which is honestly similar to some other firearms that runs flawlessly for a while and then just stop. But the Beretta Pico, sort of out of use right now until we get it sent back in. Next up is going to be a firearm I love dearly because I carried this firearm for the longest. Not this exact one. I actually bought this as like a sentimental pickup because the Ruger EC9S was the only firearm I could afford for a while. And I carried this every single day, and I didn't care. It ran everything, it did what it did. It's just a working man's gun. It was like $250 when I picked it up. It ran flawlessly. No, it's not the most comfortable and the most high tech. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it was something I felt comfortable protecting myself with and carrying and actually using. And I could afford it. So I could afford to use some ammo every now and then, which was really nice. So the Ruger EC9S. But as of lately, I haven't been using it. I did a lot of testing through it, got the extended mag, the 9-round mag, stuff like that, but since then I haven't really been carrying this or using it. I just haven't found the need to or anything. This is more just a sentimental pickup to remember, where I came from, or, a firearm that was there for me when I needed it. So this firearm honestly means a lot to me. So I'd rather just have it than not have it, and, it is what it is. At this point, it sits in the safe, but I'm sure I'll pull it out again soon. Next up is going to be a firearm that you guys probably absolutely love, which is the Glock 45. I just don't have a use for it. I have my home defense setup. I have my everyday carry choices. I just don't like larger firearms. It has nothing to do with hand size or anything like that. It has nothing to do with shootability or anything like that. It's more for me, I shoot these smaller firearms all so well and with ease that I don't need to carry a big firearm like this. Also, I want to be comfortable. I don't want to be carrying around a firearm that's almost the size of a full size. Now, does that mean you can't? No. I'm all for everyone just having something on them at all times. I'm just down for you to carry. I don't care what it is. I just want you to love your everyday carry firearm choice. I want you to actually use it, train with it, take the classes, and get good with it. So if you carry Glock 45, more power to you. I'm only speaking for me. But I do have a really, really hard time concealing this. I mean, this much sticks out. And I look absolutely crazy walking around. And the last thing I want is to be a self-defense encounter, and the first thing they see is that I'm the one carrying. So Glock 45, I just don't see a lot of use for it, and I don't train with it that much because, like I said, I carry smaller firearms, so I'm not going to go to the range and shoot something that's so easy to shoot and then carry, something that's snappier or whatever the case may be. That just doesn't make sense to me. I shoot my carry firearms the most. It just is what it is. And on top of that, this is going to sound weird, you guys, but my Glock 45 was the only Glock I've ever had issues with. Right out of the box, I know it could be a break-in period, or it could have been, anything, but the only firearm I've had issues with. But it's ran flawlessly since. I think it was just an out-the-box thing. Maybe needed a good cleaning, a good, lubricating, but it's weird. It just is what it is. It might be a sign to carry only smaller firearms over here. Next up is going to be another Glock. Now, I'm usually all for Glocks, and I have nothing against this firearm other than its reliability, right? I know people who actually love their Glock 28 because they wanted a smooth shooter with some decent capacity that they can handle, whether they have wrist problems. In this case, I've had double wrist surgery, so I carried 380 for a while. That's the only round I would carry until my hands restored back to normal, which actually took a while, so it is what it is. But a lot of people do carry 380 for less recoil, or they've worked in the trades their whole life, so their hands are, no longer good. They have arthritis, so I can't, once again, as long as you have something on you, I'm all for it. I'd rather you have something on you that's in 380 than nothing at all. It is what it is. You'll be able to defend yourself just fine. This is a 3.5-inch barrel, 10 plus 1, 11 rounds of 380. Put some Underwood defenders in there, throw some Civil Liberty defenders in there, and you're going to be just fine. Or Civil Liberty Defense. Sorry, not defenders. The Underwood are the Extreme Defender rounds, but you'll be just fine with 380. Although mine just has issues. And once again, I believe it is the guide rod. I think it's a spring assembly. So this will be going back. Hopefully they have a fix for it already. But I've just been a little lazy. But haven't been shooting it simply because it's frustrating to shoot. And I don't carry it right now. But if they can fix those guide rod issues, this is a very, very, very flat and smooth shooting 380. Which is a great setup for basically anybody. Last but not least is my favorite firearm out of all those that you just saw. By far. This may be a top 10 firearm for me. The Canik Meta MC9, right? Once again, though, reliability ruined it for me. I was shooting this thing, and it ran flawlessly. And people were coming up in the comments saying, oh, mine's been unreliable, or mine's having issues, or I've had every kind of malfunction there is. Failures to feed, failures to extract. And I was like, no, mine's been flawless. Like, I actually made a video saying, welcome to my carry rotation, which was very surprising. And then someone said, wait till you hit 1,000 rounds. Another person said, wait till you hit 800 rounds. Someone else said, wait till you hit 600 rounds. Well, they were on point. At about 720 rounds, I started having issues with this. It's got to be the guide rod. The only other thing I don't like about it is that magazine release, but you can flick it, you know what I mean? It's not a big deal. People are making too big of a deal out of it, but, honestly, you could flick it or just rip it out with your hands. It's not that big of a deal, right? You would have to do that for a serious malfunction anyways. So just rip it out with your hands. But if they can fix mine and get it running again, this is a great, great carry firearm. A great everyday carry option. It's small. It's got capacity. It's very similar to my favorite firearm, the Glock 26. Obviously, this one's ridiculous. I don't everyday carry the setup. But it's about the same size without the comp and the extension and stuff like that. But 12 plus 1 with a trigger like this, you can't beat it. The only other downside I will say, though, is that trigger guard for wintertime. There's no way I'm getting a gloved finger in a cold state through this trigger guard and not accidentally messing with that trigger in a self-defense encounter. So for me, I just am aware of that, and this is going to be a summer, fall, spring carry if they can fix it. But until then, this will also join those other 4 and sit in my safe. I appreciate the video, guys. I appreciate you watching the video, guys. Thanks for watching.